What's happening, people? This is Rohit here, and in this podcast episode, I'm going to talk all about sparring, how my first sparring session went, and how I got better at it. And if you clicked on this video, it means either you are an aspiring martial artist or you just want to listen to my podcast episodes. Either way, you're welcome. And let's get started. And I want to give you some context and my background. I started with karate for over 10 years, and that's more like semi contact sparring. And in this video podcast, I'm going to talk more of full contact sparring, and that's what I'm doing in my MMA classes. And this is something I started over a month back. So I still remember my first time I sparred here in my MMA, and because I have that drilling background because of karate, and my coach thought I was ready for sparring, and it was just 5% sparring. But unfortunately, my first sparring partner was not a healthy partner to have as a beginner itself. And then you and I was going with the notion, you know what, if I really wanted to land a good shot, he's going to go down. I knew I had that confidence, but we are sparring, we are having big gloves and all of that, and this guy is going all out on me, and then had a groin guard, and then I landed a kick, it landed there, and then he sat down for a while. But it was a bit messy, and I was still getting used to the fact of getting punched in the face, and that's something not everyone is used to, right? So that's more like a real life kind of simulation. And you also have to understand the difference between drilling and sparring. Drilling is just repetition of techniques so that we get that muscle memory, so that we know what to do, and slowly it becomes instinct. And that's what happens when you spar a lot, when you spar so and thousands of hours, what people talk about. Yes, all that happens, but at the same time, when you're just starting out, you're seeing a punch and then you're flinching or something. I did not flinch, but at the same time, I did not have my hand to my face, and I was getting punched a lot. But even though I had that kind of sparring partner, there's nothing wrong with him. Some people like to go hard, some people like to go light. Each one has their own methods. I somewhere want to go in between. But since I'm starting out, my coach thought I was ready, as mentioned before, so many different aspects. But this person also taught me a lot of life lessons of, you know what, I have to be prepared. And my first sparring session was itself horrible as well as unhealthy. Healthy, you can justify so in so many different ways, but either way, it gave me a huge life lesson. For me, it was not about ego, you know, oh, that person hit me, that happened, this happened. I knew that I have to go back to the drawing board and keep doing what I'm doing, and that's consistency is actually very important. But in the first sparring session, yes, every single person is going to be feeling that way, and that's completely normal as well. And even I went and did some research of how to get better at it, and that's what I started doing from the next session onwards. Even though I know that, you know what, I have to defend, that's what I have to do, and my hands have to be here, and I have this habit of my hands going down, because more of the karate kind of point and a shoot kind of thing. And it's more like different styles, I'm trying to integrate the styles, so many different things. But either way, it's all about learning, it's all about having fun, and that's what matters the most. If you're going in with that, oh, I have to defend and all that, you go into fight and flight mode, the breathing doesn't become proper, so many different things which happens. And that's why you have to stay relaxed. And for me, it was all about working on defense. You know what, I told the other person, you know what, I'm going to work on my defense. And that, I remember my first day, I did not even have my mouth guard, but it is what it is, right? First session, what happened. But later I got my mouth guard, and yeah, I told the other person, you know what, you can punch me, go light on me, but I want to work on my defense. So I went like this, and this person was punching me, and I could see the punches coming. So that's how I started working on defense first. I did not start attacking at all. You know what, only defense were only defense. And that's how I got used to the fact of punches being thrown at me, kicks being thrown at me, and I'm getting beat better at defense. As a karate person, for me it was all about offense. I'm like, offense is everything for me, no defense. Or what happens, you know what, let it be, even if I lose 1 point, it's fine. But when it comes to full contact sparring, something like MMA, you know what, we are trying to knock the other person out, it's also important to build defense. And defense comes only by sparring. And when you're bad at sparring, when you're just starting out sparring, it's not even about offense, it's not even about drilling, it's all about defense for me. And that's one life lesson. I wish I started out with this mindset, but 1 month in, if I'm going to talk to a beginner, that's what I'm going to say. Work on defense. Yes, you're going to be bad, but work on defense first. Like, no, get comfortable with the idea of punching, and that's when you can get close. And now 1 month in, slowly, it's all like a slow process as well. It's all about consistency. After first day, even though it was horrible, I got punched so bad and all that, but still I kept coming. The next day I was there at the gym, and for me, that's consistency for me. And that's something which I feel, that's like, whatever happens, I'm going to show up at the gym. That kind of mentality and the mindset, for me, kind of help. Same time, if I meet new person, I'm going to tell them, you know what, work on defense, like see the punches coming and get better at it. And I kept walking forward, and that's something which really helped me a lot. And now I'm working on offense, defense, and all of that in one go. But having those kind of techniques, yes, you're drilling, and then to see how it works in intense real life simulation, and that's what sparring is for. And that's the closest thing to real fighting, right? Yes, even though you're having big gloves, but somewhere inside, now that I feel like 1 month in, I got better at it. I feel so much comfortable, so much more comfortable with sparring, with kicks and punches being thrown my way. Yes, it's going to hurt. Yes, it's a full contact sport. Obviously, it's a physical sport, so we are bound to get hurt. And I still remember the first time I was going back, I was leaning back and all that. Now I don't do it, but in the beginning I still getting comfortable. And each one's coaches are also different. One coach likes to say it in nice, one coach will shout. And I for me, when I did karate, my coach used to shout a lot, and we got hit and all that. And even here, your coach is going to hit you, you have to defend, you have to get used to the bruises. But it's all about like bruiser, it's what makes you powerful, it's what makes you strong, it's what makes you, you know what, now I can see the difference 1 month in. But it's all about starts with sparring, getting comfortable with that idea of sparring. And it's more like punches, you are going to get hurt, what happens, you are going to get hurt, hospital nearby, whatever works for you, you know what, hospital is nearby, that is one more ideology to have. What happens, health insurance is also there. So with all those things aside, that's something that might work for other people. You know what, hospital is there, nothing's going to happen. I mean, we are having big gloves, 16-ounce gloves. You also understand that's a lot of padding too. That's because that's for an average person, that's like biggest gloves. So obviously the power is going to be reduced slightly, but either way, it's about, you're not going to get that hurt. And the coach is also going to be there on standby so that things don't escalate. Because in my situation, when I sparred for the first time, things kind of escalated quite fast because that person was going all out on me. But at the same time, even though he was showing off and all that, that helped me build on my defense, and which I feel is very important. So when you're first time sparring, go light, 5%, that's enough. You're just working on defense, you're just getting started. Don't have so much ego. And it takes 2% to actually escalate as well, right? If he's going hard, you don't say anything, you go hard, both of you are going hard, and then one of them is going to get hurt, and then you're going to blame and all that. But when you don't have any ego, you just tell the other person, hey, you know what, I'm just starting, I'm just learning. The person will understand. If the person is nice and comfortable with you, he's going to understand, he's not going to hard on. So obviously, if you need to escalate it to the coach. But in my case, I actually had good sparring partners. It's only the first one, so try to avoid, if needed, you can avoid those partners as well. But other partners, you know what, I was telling them defense, and I was getting comfortable. Now I'm like super comfortable, and now I have that confidence of going in all out. Like, there's more like controlled chaos. I would prefer to fight someone who has control over the punches and kicks, rather than someone who just wants to throw or go all out on offense. So it's all about building defense as well, and that's something which I really learned, and that's one thing which helped me a lot as well. And if you have any helpful tips, please leave it in the comments below, so that I can also learn something from you. But apart from that, thank you all for watching. See you all in another one. Till then, bye from me.